situation with Devin Haney, right? I made a comment. I put out a video and I made a comment and I said, I love the fight, but I think Devin Haney's making a mistake. And people killing me. And I'm like, yo, y'all gotta understand where I'm coming from. The last time I seen Devin, right? I want your opinion on this. Last time I seen Devin, he was running from a pretty much, I don't want to call a guy washed up, but a washed up fighter. And now you're going to 147 to fight Norman, who's like that. How is it going to be any different? I feel like mentally he hasn't recovered from what transpired with him versus Ryan Garcia, and that was the point I was trying to make. And that's how I feel. What do you feel about that? Because I mean, I'm concerned with Devin in that situation. That's why I don't want to see the fight right now.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great fight. I think one, there's the part that we don't know. One is Devin's moving up, right? But two, you know, there's still questions after his last fight. Just is he mentally okay, right? Like, is he okay with taking punches and being able to stand there in the pocket at some points and, you know, exchange at some points? I think with Devin, to me, I expected somewhat of how the Ramirez fight went. I expected that somewhat, right? Like, it was his first fight back. And let's be honest, man, that Ryan fight was brutal, dog. Like, the nigga took a lot of punishment.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
So, I mean, for me, I expected that at least the first half of the fight. I was hoping once he got acclimated, the distance, his jab was working. He saw, you know what, this guy can't touch me. Maybe I'll step to him a little bit. But I don't think it was smart of him to even try to like go up there after what just happened and even take a risk like that. So I kind of understood it. I think when it comes to Brian Norman Jr., who obviously he got thumpers in both hands, right? Brian Norman Jr. got a lot of power as well. We just seen him knock out Jin, what's his name, Sasaki or whatever his name is. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. But,
he knocked out his memory.
You know what I'm saying? But I think here's the thing, man. Devin Haney, to me, I think he's going to give Brian Norman a lot of trouble, man. I think his footwork and his jab and being able to keep distance is going to give Brian Norman some trouble. I remember watching the fight. It was Brian Norman versus, what's the black dude name? But it was somebody, I forget his name now, but he had a good jab, some distance, and Brian Norman won the fight, but he didn't really look as spectacular. And I think that the movement is going to give him a lot of trouble because Devin's foot speed is a lot greater than Brian Norman's foot speed, man. So I kind of think I give Devin the edge in that fight. But it's a great fight, right? And it's one of those, you make a mistake, Brian Norman can make you pay.
Yeah, you know what? No, let me give my man Nigel a round of applause for that, because he the only one that basically made points that I was trying to tell you too, Norb. Was like, Naj pointed out basically the same thing I was pointing out to you for weeks, months, or whatever now. Devin was coming off a brutal fight. It was a year layoff. So he had ring rust. Then you gotta think about the mental aspect of boxing. It's like, do I go in here and take a risk, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to jump into the fire, or do I take my time? Do I take my time here as well? So it's like, I get what you're saying. No, I respect, like you're saying, it was too much movement. I get that, you know, he was too cautious, but I'm saying, like, you gotta understand, even though the L was removed from the record, whatever, you still gotta think about the punishment and just stuff he had to deal with outside the ring as well. You know, we all seen it, bro. He was getting torched not only from, you know what I'm saying, the after effects of the fight, but people was coming at him about this, or they saw a loser, the lawsuits, and so you gotta understand that takes a toll on any human being. So I'm thinking, like, okay, you know, let me see how he looks coming back. Let me see how he looks. Okay, he came back. He played it a little too cautious for my liking, but I can understand why he the way he did.
He busted out his shoes from so much running.
But at the same time, real respect though. He could have stayed with that mentality, but it seemed like even after that fight, he was still trying to fight. He was still trying to go for the bigger fights out there.
No.
He tried to get the Ryan fight. He tried to get the Tio fight. And now so you can't knock him for at least, you know what I'm saying, still going for the biggest fights out there.
I'm not knocking Devin forever saying he ducks opponents. I think Devin wants the biggest fights. I'm just concerned after seeing him after 1 year, he just didn't look like the Devin that I was like, no, Devin is that one. You know
that's fair, Nose, but I just feel like with somebody like Devin, man, it's like when you take a beating like that, and You know what I'm saying? He even if you remember his first ESPN interview after the Ryan fight, he said, and I think this was maybe before the steroid situation came out, and he was like, "I never been beat like that before." So I think even outside of the physical, right, mentally, you like, damn, I'm already, you know, I'm this great, and this happened. I think it's natural to want to be cautious. And in that fight, do I agree he was too cautious? I think after round 8, when you like, all right, I got his distance, I got his timing. He can't touch me with the feet. Maybe you could step to him a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I think the natural inclination is like, man, let me just get my confidence back. Let me get in the win column. And then, you know, we can see what happens from there.